Hey guys, and welcome to a guide on how to play your medium tanks in World of Tanks. I know they are the species that people have most trouble getting used to in this game, and I'm going to try and keep this beginning bit pretty concise for you because I have quite a lot of gameplay coming up to explain to you the nuances of medium tank gameplay. Now, for the most part, there are three different types of medium tank: helmets, hoovers, and hybrids. So helmets are your T62As, your T54s, things like that. Things with a very, very strong turret. Object 140 is obviously up there, but it doesn't have quite as strong a turret as the T62A. Now, the gun on the Object 140 is better, but overall, this species of tank are damn good. High DPM, very strong turret, horrible gun depression. So if you're a Ridgeline warrior, these are not for you. On to the next now. These are my favourite, the hoovers. This is the AMX CDC. This is definitely the Comet is a great example of a hoover. Things that can just poke over a ridge, put a little cheeky shot into somebody's side, and then pop back over because the gun depression is such that they're able to take those kind of little dips in, boom, little dip out, we're all happy, we're all hunky-dory. These typically have zero armor, but typically are very mobile. So they're a great kind of tank. Good for one if you're auto-aiming at sort of short range and you can pop in and out and you don't have to worry about anything else. Obviously don't do that on hilly terrain, otherwise you'll end up pointing at the middle of the vehicle when you want to point at the top of the vehicle. So definitely advise against that on there. But these are my favourite species, and these are who we're going to be talking about today. We'll be speaking about the hoovers, how to play the hoovers, tanks with gun depression and that lot. Finally, we're on to the hybrids. The hybrids are typically well armoured, typically have strong guns. They're not particularly mobile. They don't have particularly good reloads, but they will bounce a lot of shots if you get them in a side scraping situation or something like that. They're typically German. There's not a lot more to say about the hybrids. They're probably not my favourite kind of medium tank because of the mobility factor, but otherwise they're pretty solid if you're learning how to play medium tanks. So, we're going to be moving on to the first game now. So, I am playing the Patton, believe it or not, one of the most hated tanks in the game. It's my tier 10 M48 Patton, and this is the perfect map for what I mentioned earlier, Ridgeline warrioring. This tank is reasonably good. It's not very fast. It kind of is. Let's say it's a hoover, but it also has a bit of armor, just a bit. So its power to weight ratio is not particularly good, but it's definitely a hoover. 10 degrees of gun depression and all that. I'm going to fire a shot on the move here because why not go for the free damage? This has a lot of ammo, this particular tank. Now I'm going to be quite aggressive on this flank here. I see that they're pushing in with two auto-loaders there. I wait for the auto-loaders to take at least a few shots, so I know I'm going to be taking minimal damage here. And then I'm going to go in on this back chat. Now people underestimate the frontal armor of this tank all the time, especially if they're in an auto-loader. They'll often try and run round you and things like that. So my idea in this game is I have to get up to this ridge here, because this is where I'm powerful. This is where my hoovering ability comes into play. Scarily here comes a Czech tank, which are always terrifying. But as you see, he is underestimating my frontal armor 100% there. I think I do that myself sometimes. I go up to a Patton, I think, you've got no armor. And then ding, ding, and I'm thinking, oh, fuck, this is not good. So yeah, here we are. Look at us hoovering. Look at that! We're able to just track him there. I chose to track him to hold him in place for the team. I knew I wasn't going to kill him there. One of my shots is not going to kill him. He might have gotten away and he might have put on, multiple hits onto myself or my teammates. So my decision there was I need to track this guy. Good little shot on the move there. I'm getting into the next dip. Now, terrain knowledge is a big thing to medium tank gameplay. And I would highly recommend that you go and play some games, on your own in private matches or whatever, to sort of learn the terrain. Now, here I'm going to be firing at the side of a lovely Death Star. Now, he is just not going to hit me. His accuracy is not particularly good. He's not going to want to shoot essentially what is just a cupola popping up over this ridge repeatedly. So I try not to stay in position too many times, but it doesn't look like anyone's looking at me there, so I just make sure I get that last shot off there. So we're looking for shots on at Jagdpanzer 100. I don't think I can pen him from here. Another thing that you will need to know when playing medium tanks is, you know, the kind of tanks you can and can't penetrate frontally, and what your penetration values are on your particular gun. Now, medium tanks, if I'm honest, are the tanks where I find I need premium ammunition more than others. And don't let people call you a gold noob or anything like that, okay? If you've got a Jagdpanzer 100 hull down in front of you or at distance, you're not gonna penetrate him with APCR. And the first rule is don't be ridiculous and think, oh, I'm gonna fire APCR at this guy. If you're bouncing off an E5, an E4, a Jagdpanzer 100, you know, a Death Star, an E100, anything. Those are stupid tanks. Premium ammunition is in the game for those times when you can't penetrate anything frontally. And yes, aim for weak spots, but then at the same time, at range, it's hard to do. So here you're seeing me relocating. I'm changing the angle of attack. I feel like I will get overwhelmed by their medium tanks if I stay in that position any longer. And to be honest, I think in my opinion, I moved out of there just in time. It probably was the perfect time, but it was cutting it fine. So you have to judge them situations. If you feel like you're being encircled, relocate. That's fine. Relocate, re-engage. You know, that's the nature of real warfare. It's relocate, re-engage. So that's something that you have to do. It's massively important. Also, as Quickie Baby always goes on about, changing the angle of attack is always a good thing. So that's also what I'm doing here. You know, I'm not backing off and re-engaging from the same position. I'm re-engaging from the side. Now, granted, I still have heat loaded here, but in the game I actually was unaware I didn't change back to APCR. So I am, at this point, just wasting credits, if I'm perfectly honest with you. So I want to get to that next dip anyway, because this is where I'm going to be much more valuable to my team. Try and peek under a little shot here. I can't seem to thread it through. Here... Oh, in a second, yeah, here comes the back chat. So my first initial reaction is he has no gun depression. So I am going to need, as soon as I notice, sorry, I can't have noticed yet. Yeah, now I've noticed. Now I'm like, get down into the dip, because to shoot you, he's most likely going to have to come down into the dip as well, because he has about 4 degrees of gun depression. Get a little cheeky shot on there. Again, he's underestimating the fact that you do have to aim at the Patton's armor. I can't believe I'm still firing for heat. This is so unfortunate. I cannot believe how many credits I'm wasting here. I just had no idea. He's calling me a gold noob as well. This is why I had the bloody heat loaded, though, is this E4, but I forgot to change it. Anyway, that's by the by, you know. So, I mean, I wouldn't have needed heat to... I don't know why he's actually complaining about me using heat. I would have penned him with APCR just as well, so I don't know what he's going on about, actually. But yeah, see, I'm not penetrating the E4 from here with heat even, so that's where you get it out. So don't be afraid to use the premium ammunition if you have to. So again, I'm still being a ridgeline warrior here. I've got them bushes in front of me. I thought about going up the next bushes to spot here. Obviously, that's something that you should do, but also I was afraid that one of them may be sitting there with binoculars up, in which case, you know, I physically cannot chase someone who has got binos up. Tank destroyer with binos up is going to outspot me any day. That was a great shot into the cupola there. I think the cupola has been buffed, so I don't think I would have penned APCR there either. I accept this shot because I knew it was coming, but I did it anyway because I wanted to take him out. I like getting the kills. And then we are moving up on this Death Star. Now I thought he would be looking over at me, because I thought our Death Star was the last person spotted. So, you know, I've still got my heat loaded, because if he is looking at me, I'm going to struggle to pen him frontally unless I hit him in the lower plate, and I know there's a lot to hide your lower plate back there. But he's not, so I just put the shot in anyway. And then he's dead. So that's the end of game 1. That is Ridgeline Warrior 1. It's an excellent game for this tank. I thoroughly enjoyed playing it. We'll go to the after game stats. So Ace Tanker, high caliber obviously, 94,135 credits and 5.3k experience earned. That's pretty good going. There you can see on this next page, I have over 7,000 damage, which is pretty darn good. And if I look at this now, I've also got 2k spotting, and I have 1.2k base experience in a tier 10 tank, which is actually pretty good going. Finally 2.5k profit made, even after firing those unfortunate heat rounds that I didn't know were going out of my gun. But yes, that's pretty good going. On to the next. Now this is one of my favourite tanks in the game, the Type 61. I am massively fond of this tank. It has beastly DPM. It is the ultimate Hoover. It's amazing. I love this tank. I think the alpha is great. The accuracy is not good, but I don't really care. I mean, it doesn't really seem to bother me too much, because even if you do miss, you reload it again in 6.5 seconds. I think it's 6.5 seconds. Obviously with crew equipment and that, but my Japanese are really not that good. My crew, obviously. So I'm going to go to a place where I can use my gun depression, my speed and mobility. It's a reasonably speedy tank. It's not insane, but yeah, it's a reasonably speedy tank to outwit these big, dumb, heavy tanks. We're going to have a bit of a slow start to this game, to be honest. Bosh, straight in with a shot there, but then after that, it goes a little pear-shaped for a bit. I think, if I'm honest, probably a bit over-eager at the beginning of this game, because there's so many big, juicy targets that I want to kill. Just so many. I think I hit the turret of that T-34 there, which obviously is not what I want to be doing. So here I am using this ridge. Now this guy, I don't know what he's doing. He's going, oh, let's take on this Hoover with our reasonable gun depression. If you are a Hoover, you can use the advantages to your situation. These things to your advantage. What I'm trying to do is track the guy. I want to bait him over, and I want to track him so he takes multiple hits. And that was my goal there. It's not working. It's not going too well. He's backed off anyway. He's had enough. So here we go. We're going to go off. I'm going to start putting shots on targets. There's the accuracy I told you about. But to be fair, when you are hoovering, there's a lot of back and forth. You know, I wouldn't recommend aiming fully all the time at these kind of distances. What is the point? I mean, especially when you're top tier like this, because if you're fully aiming every time, you're going to take more shots, and that's not what you want. So a little bit of back and forth is always good in these kind of tanks. You know, you've got to trade as much of their health for as little of yours as possible, and always have that in mind when turning a corner, when deciding that you want to relocate, anything like that. Think to yourself, how much damage am I going to take potentially from this, and how much am I going to deal? If you're going to deal 1,000 damage and take 300, 400, go for it. Although, when you get to 500, it's sort of, you may not want to do that. But yeah, I mean, that is usually what gets people killed, is when they think, oh, look, there's a tank there, he's out in the open. They're not thinking about the tank destroyers or his buddies that are sitting behind him or anything like that. And you see this, we are just using this hooveriness to hoover up the opposition. Honestly, it's brilliant. I thoroughly love this tank. I thoroughly love getting into these kind of positions and absolutely destroying them, because they have not a clue what to do. Going for the engine fire here, just in case I didn't kill him there. So I thought potentially that could happen. So we're looking at the map now. Map awareness, very, very important in your medium tanks. You know, I could go balls to this flank, but right now I am considering going back. So I try and put a shot on him. That, you know what I mean, like, that's just luck, that shot. But this is what I mean. I didn't take any damage there. If I had stopped to aim, I definitely would have taken damage there. So what would I rather do? Possibly hit him and know I will take no damage, or definitely hit him and take the same amount of damage. You know what I mean? So those are the kind of little things you've got to argue with yourself about in your head. Now here, I'm really wanting to defend the cap, so I'm putting quick shot on this guy, rolling back. He wasn't looking at me. If someone's not looking at you, take full advantage, fully aim in that case, obviously. Otherwise, we're going to be wasting free Dimaggio. A little bit of a non-pen there, firing on the move. I do make a bit of a misplay here. I go to kill this guy. I bounce again, somehow. I have no idea how I bounce that, and I take a shot from the bloody IS. What the IS is doing there, doing sweet FA, I have absolutely no idea. But I managed to take him out. Then here, this guy, he wants to push me. He doesn't understand the reload of this tank. I figured, do you know what, I'm just going to have to take that hit. So I do. Unfortunately, I do take module damage, I think that was, or was that crew? I didn't notice in the replay, it's quite small on my screen right now. So I, at the moment, want to defend the cap, and that's what I'm going to do. This should be decent because it's a medium range engagement, so I can probably take the piss a bit with these guys. So here we are, just climbing here. Don't mind me. Even if he was looking at me, I'd just be going up and down, as we discussed. Hills are your best friend in Hoovers. That's all I can say. I want to take that guy out of the game. Luckily, my team killed him as well. And then there's the guy behind him. Just another guy to kill, basically. Take him out. So this is, the damage is racking up at quite a rate. This guy doesn't want to let me back up, but I really don't want to take a shot from that heavy tank over there. So we're popping back up when we get the opportunity. And we're back. See, that's it. That's the kind of thing. Because of server lag, and because of people that may have, lesser internet connections and things, and, well, various different reasons, you can do that sort of popping backwards and forwards in a medium tank, and it would be very difficult to shoot you. Not to mention, just pure reaction time is hard. And I track that guy in position there. Yeah, because obviously, when you're medium tanks, I'm a soft target. I want to just track the guy. Don't let him look at me. Unfortunately, he has a pretty good repair crew, I think. Seems to be somewhere around the 6-second mark, which is good on him. Clearly likes his tank. But yeah, they were much quicker than I expected. I thought he was guaranteed death there, but never mind. That's all fine. So we're going to just pop back into the cap. I have no idea how that T-71 sees me there. Absolutely none. I was bamboozled. But it's all fine anyway. It doesn't matter. I may fast forward now. Oh no, it wasn't the T-71 that saw me. Okay. Alright, well that makes a bit more sense in that case. For some reason, when I played the game, I thought it was a T-71. In fact, I'm going to speed this right up until the end, where there's a little cheeky bit of cat and mouse that goes on between me and the T-71. Okay, so I've got EAT loaded rather than HE, because I'm out of normal ammunition. But I wasn't sure if HE would pen for 100%, and I wanted to at least make sure I did damage. To be honest, I thought I would die. I'm a soft target here. So I did think I would die here, but I didn't. I managed to get away there, and then it's a case of my Oho, I think it was, or Oni, something like that, who was saying to me, no, just wait, I will do it. But he desperately wanted the kills. He was saying, all game he's been saying to me, oh no, leave the kills to me, or leave the kills to me. That's the bit that you didn't see that I just cut out. He just wants all the kills. But anyway, I'll speed it up until the Oho Oni is here. My hero. Here he is. Here's my hero coming up to use his big beefy armor on this poor unsuspecting customer. Now, I've told him that obviously he's going to go up first. It's a good teamwork for a random battle, to be honest. I appreciate that he was like, I shall use my armor for the goodness of the cause. But yeah, got an HE shell loaded here. 2 left. I am not going to let him have the kill if I can help him, because I'd much rather have it for myself. But there we are. Pop a little shot there, and we're good to go. I'll see you guys in the after game. So as you can see, this game, I got the Ace Tanker, I got a high caliber Top Gun, total experience earned with premium, obviously, 5,134, and the credits earned of 96,000, which is obviously good, but reminder, I did have to fire all of my heat because I ran out of ammo, which is one of the limitations of the Type 61. It's very, very low on ammo. On to the most interesting now, 6,628 damage done. 1,711 base, which I'll take any day of the week. Shots fired 31. That's a funny old amount actually the Type 61 has. It has 32 rounds of ammunition then, I suppose. I think I had 1 left at the end of that game. So yeah, I did 1,300 spotting as well. Really enjoyed playing that game. That was really a Ridgeline Warrior type game. I thoroughly enjoyed using this tank for what it's meant for, and you will too once you sort of use this guide and get the feel for Ridgeline Warriors. You'll start loving them as well. It's just such good fun. Finally, all there is to say about this one is 18k credits made with premium. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial on how to play medium tanks in World of Tanks. If it helps you, please drop a like, please subscribe, and I will make more on different styles of tank. If you leave suggestions, I'd be more than happy to do so. Until next time, guys, see ya.